Hi, Philippa. Thank you so much for coming to BizTalk. How are you?
Hi, Max. Thank you very much for having me here. I'm very well, thank you.
Great. Thank you for your time. Before talking about Samanta, that's a very nice name. Let's talk a bit about yourself.
Yes, so my name is Philipa Kelly, and I'm the founder of Samanta Ltd, and we build the Samanta application. And my background practically is in interpreting. So I worked in the interpreting industry for the last 7 years, and I got the chance to actually know both sides of the interpreting industry. You know, being an interpreter as working as an interpreter. So this is how I've seen what are the needs of the market. So I'm also working in the design of the product and the development of the tech product.
Thank you, Philippa. So let's talk about Samanta.
Yes, so Samanta is your interpreter on demand. So we want this to be a sustainable tech innovation for the interpreting industry. So I will start with our team, as I said about myself. So I have experience in the interpreting industry, and part of my team is Mr. Kanucharan Lenka, and he has a team of 5 specialized app developers who work in creating the application. So he has extensive experience in the business operation and tech product development, and we work on daily basis together in the business operation. So the problems which I identified as working as an interpreter, of course, is communication in foreign languages and hiring interpreters. And this is a problem because the existing system, it's very slow and unsustainable. There are very limited availability of interpreters. They are all agency sourced, which is because of this, there are high prices for clients and unreasonable expenses and poor working conditions for interpreters. And there are no interpreters in remote locations or for unsociable hours. So we came up with the solution, which is Samanta application. So on the Samanta application, you can hire interpreters on demand or you can book them in advance. They are available 24/7 in any geographical location, in any language, through a video call and voice call system. The payment is in the app and you can review the interpreters in the app as well. So it's a one-stop platform for both sides of the industry. Our target audience, it is business to business, first of all. So businesses, healthcare, law and government agency, humanitarian and refugee support. But we believe that it will be used in the community for B2C tourism, immigration, social integration, and interaction. The market size is total addressable market is 15.6 billion, serviceable addressable market is 6.24 billion, and serviceable obtainable market, which we target by year 5, is 156 million. The revenue model, it was built entirely to show the needs of the market. So for these reasons, we created 4 different time slots: 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 60 minutes, and for 15 euro, 28 euro, 39 euro, and 49 euro. And before the end of each time slot, you can extend the call, which will cost you 82 cents per minute, and we have a gross margin of 63%. Our value proposition, of course, what we offer comparing to other, we offer availability 24/7, efficiency, flexibility, quality, reliability, confidentiality, and of course, sensitive things and sign language, body language, and emotions can be interpreted through video calls as well. Our progress to date, we have 85 interpreters in 14 different languages. The mobile app is available in App Store and Google Play, and we have over 200 organic downloads and registrations. We already partnered up with SafetyNet Primary Care, which is an agency in Ireland, and they have 4 staff registered with us. We are talking to County Kildare, and Salvation Army also registered with 1 staff. Our goals, short-term goal is to build a team, launch in Ireland and UK, long-term expand in EU and US, and major is Samanta to be recognized worldwide for all interpreting needs. So to obtain all this, we have a future strategy. So first we start with launching in Ireland and UK, then the current business model enhanced with multi-peer video calling system, launch in Europe a multilingual app, AI and ML triggered interpreter assistant for 5 languages and AI and ML triggered interpreter assistance for all languages. Our financial forecast. So we on year one will be minus 28,000, but implementing all the plans which we have, we believe that we would reach around 20 million by year 5. And we've done all our research on this, how we can achieve that. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Philippa. Let me start with where are you standing today in terms of traction?
Okay, so let me tell you right now. So the application was built. Okay, so we started using it. We've done some testing, and all the testing went well. But when we got real customers, it didn't really work. Okay, so the video calling was not stable. Okay, so right at the moment we have the tech stack which we built it on. So we have to change a few things. But what we are changing is just introducing a new video call system. We will be using Twilio for our video call system, which is actually a reliable video call system. So that will let us will allow people to use it. So we have some tractions. We have a kind of a waiting list as well for people who are interested in this. And we already have a few clients, but right at the moment, they can't use it. They started using it, but now we just have a little bit of break I think it will take about 20 days when we can restart using the application, and hopefully it will be very successful this time. All the functionalities will work.
Well, that's normal. I mean, you need to try, test, tuning until you start working properly. How many people working today? You, your co-founder, and developers?
Yes, me, the co-founder, and we have Kanu, who is the CTO, and the developers. Yeah, that's all.
You are fundraising, right? To develop let's say, the new phase of the business.
Okay, to develop the new phase of the business. So until now, we funded it. I funded it myself. Okay, everything. We will need to raise some money because we need to build a proper team. I need a team of marketing, okay, and also a sales team.
Okay. How much would you like to fundraise now? How much are you fundraising?
So I was thinking about 130,000, which would be kind of, it should be pre-seed funding.
Yeah, it does. I mean, outside your bootstrapping, yes, it's your first, let's say, not institutional run, but something more than friend and family. With this 130, what actually would you like to achieve? What do you want to do? How are you going to use this money?
Okay, so I firmly believe that so we need to build a brand, first of all. Okay, and because this is a service which is, people Google it, okay, to look for interpreters. Okay, so for this reason, we will actually need to do, I believe, one of our major marketing strategies would be to use Google Ads. Okay, so we need money for Google Ads. So we need somebody who is specialized in marketing, okay, to be able to get the best out of any marketing what we do. So we need one person in marketing, and we also need somebody in sales, because we also want to target customers personally. Okay, and because we have a big number of interpreters, we need a big number of customer as well in the same time to use the interpreters to be able to give them work regularly.
But in terms of marketing, what would be your persona? Who is the customer? How do you identify your customer? What, for example, the age?
In terms of marketing?
You had two way. I mean, you had the B2B, the B2C. Okay, the B2B, of course, it's government companies, but you want also to move to the B2C, for example. How do you want to manage your marketing strategy in terms of communication? Who is your target on both sides?
Okay, so in for businesses, for B2B, it will be businesses. So as I said, we also have our target market would be like law and government agencies and healthcare. But to get into those, we don't actually in marketing. We need to tender for most of the jobs which are for the public sector. Okay, for government and health. So it is different businesses. We target different businesses who have which do international trade. Okay, and they usually Google interpreters. Okay, to look for them. So that could be all different types of businesses. We also looked for, you see, airlines sometimes use interpreters. Insurance companies use interpreters. In Ireland, there are insurance companies who would give free interpreting for those who have, let's say, travel insurance with them. So we would target, for instance, insurance companies to offer our interpreting services, which is on demand for anybody who travels and has insurance with them. And then they can, just connect with an interpreter if they get in any difficulties abroad. Okay, so and a lot of different businesses who use interpreters. And then from B2C, we would target, that's our secondary target, of course, and we would target people who are traveling, first of all. And if they get in any language difficulty, then they can use interpreters. And also, so from experience, I'm saying this, that I met a lot of people who, you see, they are in Ireland, then they don't speak English, and they find it difficult to even open a bank account or go to a parent-teacher meeting. Okay, so for all of these people, interpreting services are really necessary.
When it comes to interpreting, the video call, is that necessary? Because I do believe in many companies, they need writing be interpreted more than the voice. And when it comes to the B2C, if I'm going to Ireland, I want to talk to the bank, I need someone who talks to them instead of me. So it can be too much articulated.
It has to be video call, because you see, on video call, so it's also when you're on video call, it's also a bit of connection, cultural connection with somebody who understands you and can help you. Okay, so interpreters a lot of times are cultural mediators as well. Okay, so, and it is a difference between interpreting and translation. We are not doing translation, we are only doing interpreting. Let's say if you go to the doctor for a medical consultation, you need, actually, it's good to see, unless it's something inappropriate to see or very sensitive, you don't need video call, but it is good to see. I've done a lot of interpreting through phone, and mostly police use it through the phone, because they are on the street, and if they stop somebody, they need an interpreter, but it's not the same.
Okay.
So when you see somebody through the video call, it actually gives far more. It's easier to understand. It's easier to communicate.
I mean, in terms of language, so today I think is based on English, and you're approaching all English-speaking countries. But what's going to be the plan for tomorrow? I mean, are you going to expand the number of languages covering, for example, Spanish, which is pretty much the most spoken language in the world?
Yeah, so now we have it all in English, and yes, so the plan is to expand in EU, like Germany, Spanish, Italy, like Croatia, all those languages where, you see, most of the people speak English, but less people speak German. More people speak Spanish, but still not everybody speaks. So yes, we want to have it like every interconnecting and every language. Okay, so now, yes, it's English to Japanese, English to Chinese, English to Spanish. But yeah, we want Spanish to Japanese, Spanish to German, German to Hindi. Okay, so we want everything. But that's
I do.
the plan.
For what is my experience? I do believe if I'm German and I would like to have another German speaking, interpreting to me in English, for example, because the culture is different. Because maybe if I have some difficulties, I can speak it to in German, of course. But how do you target? How do you select more than targeting your interpreters?
Okay, so for instance, with English, okay, so English is their second language, okay, and they have to be native in the language they are interpreting in or to, okay. So we don't really take on people who just, let's say, English is their second language and German is their third language, okay. German has to be their native language and English their learned language. Okay, so we prefer. I know there will be situation with rare languages when we will have to just take on somebody who just learned the third language and it's not their native. But at the moment, and we still test them as well.
Do they have to go through some kind of selection?
Yes, they have to go through some kind of selection. So there is a skill test involved in this. Okay, so they go through an interview and their skill test, and we advertise for people who have at least a bachelor degree. Okay, because while you can select languages, you can also see on the application, you can see the interpreters' profiles. Okay, which means that, let's say you need an interpreter for animal welfare. Okay, you might find when you look through the interpreters, you might see somebody who studied agriculture or somebody who studied something similar.
Sure.
Okay, so you don't just take, like for some interpreting, you can just take anybody. It doesn't matter what they studied, but not everybody would speak business English or medical language. You might find a nurse on the app and who will have the necessary vocabulary to interpret correctly.
In terms of recommendations, for example, the application gives itself some recommendation. If I want to find this kind of interpreter, for example, you have on your platform 1020, exactly covering that task and what I'm looking for. Do you give some recommendation? Or if I'm using your interpreter, can I give my review?
Yes. At the end of each call, you can review the job and you also review the whole service. Yes.
Okay. In terms of business model, I saw the slide before. It's pretty clear. Now, is something you already tested, or there's a business model that has to be tested?
No, it is already tested and it is working. And again, not only so from research, from my experience, and as well from research, okay, we know that a lot of interpreting jobs only need like 7-8 minutes. Okay. At the moment, when you order an interpreter, the interpreter will need to go because it's in person. Will need to be there for will have to be booked for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, which usually, okay, from the interpreter's point of view, it makes sense because the interpreter is paid for an hour, but from the company who pays, it makes no sense because they are paying for something what they don't use. Okay, so that's why we give the option of different time slots, and if you need more time, then you can just extend the call.
Absolutely. But what's your vision for your company today? It's pretty clear, but I mean, an entrepreneur should have some kind of vision where they are going to, not only the mission, but exactly how you visualize your company in 5 years, for example. Where do you see this company, Samanta, in 5 years, 5 years?
Okay, but hopefully in 5 hopefully in 5 years, I see the application which everybody is using it. When you think of, oh, I need an interpreter right now, I'll go on Samanta. So whenever anybody's asking who do you use as your interpreter, Samanta. Okay, to be globally for everybody's needs. Okay, I just don't want it to isolate it for any specific segment. I want it to be open for everybody, for just the lady who needs to go to have a parent-teacher meeting, for the child to be able, oh, there is Samanta who can, and I'll find somebody to help me. And this to be globally and in every language.
In terms of user journey, what happens if I'm open your application?
Okay, so you are a user who want to find an interpreter. You open the application. You just write in what languages do you need, okay, or what language interpreter do you need, and then we'll show you the interpreters available on that language. Okay, so then let's say if you see Peter there, he sounds good. You go into his profile, have a look what qualification and what experience he has, and then you can book him for on demand for right then, hire him right then, or just to book him in advance for a different time. If you hire him for right then, you just press hire, and then the interpreter, because he's online, if he's available for you to see, then it means that he's online. His phone will ring and he will answer the call, and then the conversation can start from there.
And let's say the outcome is not good for me. I don't like what the job is being delivered. That's a problem for many applications.
Yeah. So if it is a technical problem, okay, and the call is interrupted, then you can recall, okay? So it doesn't matter how many times the call drops. If there is a problem with the interpreter, okay, you can end the call in the last, because you'll find out in the first few seconds that no, this is not actually, maybe he doesn't speak the language, or he doesn't understand the dialect. Okay, so then you can end the call and there is a dispute button. Okay, there is always at the end of the call, you have to complete the call or dispute the call. Okay, if you decide to dispute the call, then we'll get back to you and see each parties. But the quicker you end it, the better. Okay, the quicker you end the conversation and dispute the call.
Okay. Just jumping back to the business model, the B2B, the B2C model, are you going to use the same strategy? I mean, for example, if you have a kind of agreement with a company, maybe the company is going to use your service for many hours. So are you going to give to them some packages where they can maybe have some discount, having few people working on your application?
No, at this moment, we don't think about discounts. And I tell you why. I think we are already offering them a lot of advantages comparing to others. Okay, so the value, it's not necessarily in the money. The value is in the fact that they find an interpreter, they find quality interpreters. It is at a better price, and they don't need to pay, for interpreters just hanging around. So we give them different value. Okay, so there is no packages at the moment.
Who are your competitors today?
Our competitors. Okay, so main competitor would be in person and over the phone interpreting. Okay, but in none of them you do on demand, or search for the interpreter you want, because they send you an interpreter or they put you over the phone with an interpreter, any interpreter. Okay, so there is one company who it is a little bit like us. So it's an application, a mobile application for on-demand interpreting, but they are in America, and we are better than them, again, because they just offer you whichever interpreter is available would answer the call. Okay, while here in our application you choose the right interpreter, and I actually know how much it means for somebody to have the right interpreter, okay, who has the vocabulary to actually do the interpreting the right way. Okay.
I saw you want to, in 2-3 years time, you want to use AI, machine learning. Where is the need for machine learning, for example?
Okay, so what we want to introduce in the application, it is this thing when the app, if it's open, and let's say you are on headphones, okay, you can, that gives you so assistance. Let's say you are on the underground, okay, and the train is coming and they are announcing whatever, so then you know, so that we recognize the language it's spoken, and then it will translate it in your ear straight away. Okay, so all these will be just some little things. They won't take the job of the interpreter. Okay, it will just be assistance. And we also, what we want to introduce is an automated way to recruit the interpreters. Okay, so we'll introduce some kind of smart testing systems which will recognize their voice and their language abilities. Okay, so because right now we are skill testing them one by one, okay, which takes a lot of time. But at the volume we want to make, we need something faster and reliable.
Thank you. I mean, it's pretty clear. Makes sense. If you can, I want to close with this. If you can give a message, investors, why they should invest in Philippa,
A message.
this team, and Samanta?
Oh, why should we invest? We have a big dream. Okay, we have a small team with a very big dream, and this is something which which a lot of people will use, even though right now it might seem something very specific. In a few years' time, everything the way it goes towards technology, in a few years' time, everybody will be using something like this because they want to be understood. Right now, that's not necessarily an option, but in the future they will be. And so we have a big dream, and we know that this will be the next big company which will be recognized worldwide. So better be in from the start.
I do believe so. Samanta, thank you so much for coming to BizTalk. I really wish you all the best.
Thank you very much, Max. Thank
For
you.
your time. Take care.